Pretty low. You've got steps. The ground off.
Oh, and all those three bridges look very nice to me. They've done a nice job on it. Yeah.
Hey, Craig,
Yes.
just for info, when you're typing and doing stuff like that, I don't know if you want to mute or not, because it's just, we hear every keystroke you're making.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
How you do this morning, Chief?
Good.
Good. Just do a little heat weather, heat stuff.
Just to cool off a bit. Yeah.
Well, we have a pretty full house here today, but so let's go ahead and get this meeting started. This is our June 11th, 2025 regular Board of Directors meeting. And if I can have everyone stand, please, for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag, of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, and Jenna, roll call when you are ready, please.
John Foster,
Here.
Jim Stearns.
Here.
Randy Court.
Here.
John Ellis.
Here.
And Craig Berry.
Here.
Full house. Okay, good of the order. Anything good of the order? Any of the folks here? No?
I just,
Okay.
I don't know if it's good of the order or not, but and we've already done this once, but I've noticed in this package, we don't identify ourselves as a Rogue River Rural Fire Protection District 1. Some places we do, some places we don't.
Still transitioning.
Yeah, I guess, and as you go through, there's numerous cases of that. And plus, it's on the proposal from the auditor. They got us as Rogue River Protection District. I don't know if that's
Yeah.
or not.
Chief, you want to just kind of talk to that? I get probably cut and paste stuff and old documents, things are still.
Yeah, the
Still
legal name for the fire district is Rogue River Rural Fire Protection District.
And we went through this.
Yeah, but also we are Jackson County Fire District 1, meaning that we are the first fire district to be formed in Jackson County. Our legal documents have Rogue River Rural Fire Protection District. It's a mouthful. So we tend to use well, for a while, they used Rogue River Fire District, which was, I don't think really a legal name, but that's kind of what got used. So I understand the confusion.
If if that's legal, that's fine. It's not for,
It's definitely confusing.
Sure.
Our letterhead says Jackson County Fire District 1.
Thank you.
Thanks for bringing that up, John. Okay, hearing no more good of the order to discuss, then let's move on to item 4, which is we're going to have a ceremony honoring Larry Wills, who is a longtime board member and a participant in our fire district. Are you going to give something, or we have?
Yeah,
someone?
can we walk outside to the?
Absolutely, yeah. Let's go out to the monument.
Cheers.
Gentlemen.
Hey, Randy.
Hey, buddy, I didn't notice you in the crowd.
Hey, I snuck in.
Snuck it on.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what I'm qualified for.
I'm surprised Bob and Linda both didn't come.
The what?
His niece, nephew. I think that the ladies that showed up late there.
Is some relation?
Oh, I think that. I think that one Mickey Sue, his daughter, Betty.
Okay.
Dave, one, two, three.
Yeah, sure, that's always good.
It's about years.
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
Did he sneak up?
Which, I was thinking, as we're doing that whole thing, this is department, and like a historian or something.
How you doing?
Trying to do things.
Yeah. you-
I don't know.
I think that'd be a great idea.
You should have, though, yeah, you're
I
right.
doubt we do.
Yeah,
And that's one of the things, those stories are gonna,
Okay, I'll
Die
get you
with-
later.
Yeah, they go when he goes.
Yeah.
And, that paper. that you was
See you
talking
later.
about,
Yeah.
be-
See you, Mark.
Yeah, see you.
Talk soon.
That would be a great thing to have a story.
yeah.
I did it. Here it is. Anderson, so. He's totally restored. He's gone. I know nothing about diesel. Basically nothing about gasoline, but. It's got somewhere in the neighborhood of $50,000-$60,000 in this truck, in the motor, it's some trick, big decent motor. And he finally got it, somebody's doing most of the work, and he finally got it out of the place, he's driving it around, Poland. I guess the market down there. And there's all this water.
I guess we can reconvene. We're all here.
All back.
Yeah.
So he had to turn out the water.
Okay, let's get our meeting back on track here. Craig, we're back, from our little outing. So item 5, our budget hearing. We're gonna adopt our budget. And any public comment on the process? Hearing none, everybody's gone. Okay, Chief, are you gonna read that resolution for us and so we can take action on that, or?
I make a motion that we pass the resolution.
We're gonna motion to accept the resolution. We usually read it, we read it before we take action on it or pass it.
We can read it by title only if this document is available to anybody who wants the document, which perfect it is. So is that acceptable?
Yep. That's acceptable.
Then you want me to read it?
Yes, you would, Chief.
Be it resolved that the Board of Directors for Rogue River Rural Fire Protection District hereby adopts the budget for fiscal year 2025-26 in the sum of $238,092. This budget is now on file at the Fire District Office. And this is resolution number R 2425-00.
Okay, there's the descriptor and entertain motion to approve.
You have a motion?
Your motion, John, thank you. And second, thank you, John. Okay, and Jenna, we'll roll call that, please, when you're ready.
John Preston,
Yes.
Jim Stearns.
Yes.
Randy Cole,
Yes.
John Ellis.
Yes.
And Craig Berry.
Yes.
Randy, we'll take a signature from you. And Craig, next time you're in town, can you come by and sign the resolution? Please?
Okay. All right, oath of office, item 6 here on our agenda. What do we have going for that? So, we don't have any new.
We have 3 oaths of office for those of you who just was reelected to your position. So that'll be for Randy, Jim, and John.
Okay.
So
You read.
do you want to have Jim swear you in?
Actually,
How do we do that?
Jenna is a notary, correct? No, do we have a notary here? No, we don't. Okay.
Thank you again very much for honoring them.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming.
Take care.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Come see us. So I'm trying to remember
We could
historically.
Have John.
Yeah,
Ellis do it.
I can get all 3 of them.
Read those for us if you will, then, John.
And so
Okay, gentlemen,
You need to stand. and
You guys
raise your
are-
hand.
stand, raise your hand. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the state of Oregon and the laws therefore, and will faithfully and honorably demean myself in the office of Fire District Board Director, to which I have been elected, so help me God.
I do. I do.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Sorry, Craig.
This up campaign. we pulled her out.
Your signature. And we'll have Jim sign it. We have
Okay.
A lot of signing to do today.
A lot of signatures. Okay, we've got through that. Let's review our minutes of our safety committee and our regular board.
Those 2. Right?
Chief, acronym question and MDT.
That should be MDT, and that stands for Mobile Data Terminal.
Okay, that's the
That's
computer.
the screen that's in our vehicle.
Gotcha. Entertain a motion to approve the minutes of past meetings when you gentlemen are ready. It's
Make the motion.
got it 2 places. Let's
Jim.
refine it. Jeff,
Okay.
I'll second.
John, second, thank you. Okay. All in favor of that? Aye. Opposed?
No,
None. Oop, got a no? Okay, Craig. Anything specific you want to touch base on?
Shook his head.
Craig? No?
Shook his head, no.
Okay, no. Okay. Okay, let's look at the finances here in the packet. Can I meet?
A couple things to note in the finances. Get you on the right page here. I'll refer you to page 19 of your board packet. Under the revenue section, we added a line item called fire protection contracts. So we can put that money in there. Tony, draw.
Oh, what?
Fire protection contracts. That's in, under revenue.
Looking.
330.
Oh, I see it now.
Yeah, 331.15.
Got it, thank you.
We received $58,000 in taxes, so that was good. The ambulance made $82,000 last month. Average monthly income on the ambulance is about 59,000. So that's good. We need the money. These guys have been working their butts off over and above everything else they do. They've been running a tremendous amount of calls. And with that, our anticipated revenue forward into the next year's budget looks like it's going to be about $180,000 more than what we budgeted.
Awesome.
So we feel pretty confident we probably will not have to go for a loan.
Yes,
It's good news.
as long as we don't have any contingencies that,
Chief, I'm sorry, what was the $384.50 that came into the fire protection contracts? I'm just curious.
that's for one contract. I have, so I'll talk about it later,
Oh, okay,
but I
can put
can
it off.
talk about it now.
No, we can.
Okay.
And then, are we okay looking at our, salary projections here and expenditures at 8.6%? I mean, that's not an alarm bell.
This is the last report of the year.
It is the last one, so we're
What we
okay.
have left at the
Okay.
end of the year.
For some reason, I thought that there was one
Actually,
in
that's
July.
not true, is it? Because
We have,
This was the June one. so
This is
we
it.
got 30 days in it.
Yeah,
So that'll-
there's 1 month left, isn't there?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
and that month on average should take 8.3% of the budget
Okay, so
for the
we're good.
year.
Okay, thank you.
So it looks like our PERS has a bonus of $95,000 in there still.
That's what it's showing, yeah.
Yeah, there's gonna be 2 months that pull this month.
That poll, so that's going to be drawn down.
Yeah, that'll be. down
So
a bit.
we're on track pretty close, Jenna, to our budget. Good. Good.
So it looks like there's $190,000 in grants. Is part of that the missing personnel from Oregon Fire Marshal, the $250,000 that we're missing?
Can you tell me exactly what you're referring to? What are you looking at?
Under revenues,
Okay,
we budgeted nothing for grants and we have 190,000. Is any of that the missing $250,000 from the Oregon State Fire Marshal for our capacity?
Isn't that the CWRR grant? And
Yeah.
The 35,000 for the summer.
Okay, so that-
CWRR, and
so none of that is the missing $250,000.
I wouldn't describe that money as missing. It's in the general fund. We brought it in revenue carry forward. We spent some of it in salaries and then the remainder will be going out in unappropriated ending fund balance. So
Sure.
all of it is, I can tell you where every penny of that grant is.
Our ending fund balance is going to be $188,000. Is that correct?
Let me look at that. Are you talking about this current fiscal year?
Correct?
Unappropriated ending fund balance for this fiscal year is $333,000. That includes $220,000 that we're not going to use, $308,000 for capacity grant funds, and $25,000 that we're moving forward for station alert.
What page is that on?
In the current budget this year, that's on page 10. No, let's see. Are you looking for it in your board packet?
Yes. I thought it was on page 21. Page 21 is 220,000. Perhaps I was looking at the at next year's, but 220, 188. Those are the ending fund balances I'm seeing in the in all of our accounts, or in our general fund account.
So I'm having a hard time finding it in the packet where it says unappropriated. Oh, there I got it. Okay, I got it. Okay, so you have to add 220,000, and then below that, reserve for future, 333,000. That is also unappropriated.
Sure, but that's always been a completely separate account. Unappropriated has been averaging higher than that, and that's where we're at here. If we had spent, if we didn't have that extra $250,000, we would be in the red right now, asking for a loan.
Okay,
That's my point.
I don't understand your point.
Okay. I'm ready to move on.
Okay, and I'm going to ask a question just to clarify a little bit further. So the unappropriated ending fund balance has a line item. And then the reserve for future is also a line item. Are both of those carried forward?
Yeah,
In a sense, are they both sort of the same thing? Or am I?
both of them are unappropriated. The reason that we have the reserve for future detail
Okay.
is because some of the money that we move forward, we actually appoint it to something. We're moving it forward for a specific purpose. So
Okay,
to keep track of that, we give it its own money.
not just general
And put it,
fund.
and put it over.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. Okay. I'm good with that. Craig, are you ready to move forward then?
So what's it going to look like in September before tax revenues come in?
I think that we are going to be fiscally sound. I think we have enough money to get us to November. And
Well, you think we do, or you know we do?
well, I can't predict the future, Craig. You know, we're in fire season right now. If we host a big fire, or if I have a major vehicle breakdown, or any kind of major contingency that's unanticipated, then we could have a problem. I can tell you that based on the money that we spent in the same period of time last year, we have that money going forward into next year. I'm also working with Umpqua Bank right now to establish a line of credit. I don't have those documents right now, so I'm not prepared to talk about it yet. But potentially give us a line of credit so that if we do get into financial trouble before taxes in November, we'll have that money there.
Has this ever happened before?
We used to take a tax anticipation loan every year.
Okay.
And I
Thank you.
think we did it every year up until like 7 years ago. or so.
8, 7, yeah, 7, 8 years ago.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, let's see, if we're done discussing the financial portion, I'd entertain a motion.
Motion to accept as presented.
Okay, thank you.
Seconded.
In a second, thank you, John, and we'll roll call that. Jenna, please.
John Foster,
Yes.
Jim Stearns.
Yes.
Randy Court.
Yes.
John Ellis.
Yes.
And Craig Berry.
No.
No further discussion then. Let's look at our correspondence.
John Bond showed up, joined us.
Here.
Good morning, John.
Very quietly.
I think he was here for probably the Larry Wills.
Yeah, I was told to be here, to be very honest with you, verified yesterday to be here at 8 o'clock for the presentation out here. And I guess you gentlemen changed that.
Well, it was 7:30 and I apologize for the miscommunication.
We had people showing up from out of town. We
Yeah,
thought we
well,
were
no, I
waiting.
have no problem with it.
waiting
That's
for
the
it.
only reason why I'm here right now.
Well, appreciate you being here. Sorry about the miscommunication that didn't do it.
Those things happen.
It was
Those things happen all the
a
time.
nice, time to get to honor Larry.
It was, yeah.
But yes, that's,
It came off
it's
well.
excellent and it's well deserved.
Yeah.
And
Sorry.
what I would have to say simply reinforces that person that needs to be recognized. I take a couple minutes.
But yeah, go right ahead,
You
John.
sure?
Yep.
Okay. Larry was a very special person, but, and you've heard other things about all the things he's accomplished and everything else. But the one thing that made Larry different than most people, but these others that have been recognized fall in the same category. Larry never used the word I did this, I accomplished this, or anything else. He was committed to schools, every activity, fire, community, and everything else. Very committed. Always used the word we. Sit in a discussion with something, but when the discussion was over, whatever he was doing, it was always we. He never picked up the paper and says, I did this, or picked up someplace else, I did this. Never used the word I, always used the word we. That's what makes him so much different. It's so special to this community because it's a community that makes things what it is. He represents the community and he believed in we, not I. That would be what I would have said earlier, and I'm sorry for the miscommunication, but anyway, that's what makes him special and that's why he should be there. And he's with his friends who all are out there believe in we, not I.
Yeah. Thanks for that, John. I agree with you wholeheartedly in
Yeah.
my workings with Larry over the years. Okay, well, thanks again. Sorry for the mix up on the
All
time,
those things happen.
but you're welcome. You're welcome to stop in anytime you're
Oh,
born in the morning.
I'll schedule this about 2 years from now.
Okay. All right. Thanks, John. So no more correspondence that I'm aware of. So let's move along and look at, line item 10, our old business. We've got a couple things here. We're looking to take action on our fee schedule. Could you talk to us about that, please?
Yes, I have an ordinance to give the board fee authority and I have a fee schedule. However, we did not get them soon enough to publish them in the newspaper as is required. So we're not able to deal with these topics in the meeting today.
Okay.
But I do have hard copies of the documents and I'd like to give that to you. You can take it home.
Okay.
And we will step through the process and we have to visit the ordinance on 2 separate occasions. So we'll do it in the next 2 meetings, I
Okay.
suspect.
Okay.
And then so this process takes time, but in the long run, it's worth it to do it that way.
Okay, and that's on our, fee authority. Is that also our fire protection contractor? That's a separate, that's, okay. You know, okay, you're gonna pass that to us.
Craig, I'll have this for you at the fire station. You kind of want it to what?
Okay, so we're moving that to next meeting as, and then, okay, Chief, back to you again then on our update on fire protection contracts, please.
So I drove up Savage Creek Road and hung letters on a number of doors and gates and I did get a little bit of feedback on that. So I have 3 contracts now. I'm working on a 4th one. I do need to do a partial refund on 2 of them because I assessed them incorrectly. I should have assessed 5 acres and I assessed more, but I will fix that. So that is going well. As far as annexing it, I think that's the goal of the board moving down the road. That's going to be a process that requires guidance by an attorney. And the attorney who is helping Applegate with some annexations out there, who also works for our attorney of record. He's in a trial right now, so he's not really available to me, but as soon as that's over, I will get educated from him, the exact process, and bring that back to the board.
So these properties are under contract now, but we're looking to change that into an annex to actually into the district.
Yeah.
So they're protected at their level they want at this time.
Yeah, if we annex it, they have the option of opting in or opting out.
Okay.
So they don't have to be part of the annex unless they do certain things like sell the property, add on to the property, then they're automatically put into the annexation.
Okay, otherwise they're not forced in.
The annexation is a lot easier to manage than individual contracts because these tend to get lost in the weeds, as happened with us. You know, we had these existing contracts and we just didn't service them.
Chief, I would suggesting this to the board, that as we move forward, we offer single-year contracts on these. And with the anticipation that they will be offered the opportunity to annex. And if they do not annex, we're going to end the contracts anyhow. Our goal needs to be to get out of these contracts so where it's not a continual maintenance issue on our part for redoing it. Give the people the opportunity to annex in the district. If they decide they don't want to, then that's fine. That's a decision.
Mike, at the,
And if they decide that they don't want to,
Annex
We will
into
not
the
continue
district,
to
we're
carry
not
on.
going to be offering contracts in the future.
Mike, at the last meeting, I had asked if you had contacted Josephine County to see if any of this area had been part of the newly formed district.
I told them that.
Do you have the map, and does it show that this is any of that jurisdiction?
Yes,
It is a jurisdiction.
it's not a jurisdiction.
Okay.
They did not annex it.
Okay. And then the other question that I had is, as we are looking at a contract, correct me if I'm wrong, but are these not fire protection contracts?
They're a fire protection contract.
So with that, we are also sending people out to do inspections and everything, which is, if they're a fire protection contract, that would be outside of the scope of a fire protection contract. And should probably have some legal review or some legal,
Our attorney wrote the contract and took our previous contract and added some language into it.
okay, but is it just a fire protection contract still, or is it a full encompassing contract? Because there's some additional liabilities that will be incurred if we are doing prevention activities on top of a suppression contract.
I don't know. It doesn't address fire prevention activities.
Okay, so with that though, we are sending people out to do activities outside of our scope of contract, which could create a position of liability for the district because it's outside of our scope.
What kind of activities?
While you're going out and doing driveway inspections.
We look at the driveway to make sure it's acceptable.
I understand what we're doing, but what I'm saying is, within our jurisdiction in our district, we are granted the authorities to do those type of functions. We are now going outside of our district to provide a contract service, no different than what rural metro is doing. And in the scope of the contracts that we're presenting to these individuals, we have to follow what we're saying we're going to do for them. If our contract states it's a fire suppression contract, basically we'll show up, we'll put your fire out and we will leave. That's our scope. If we are now going in and coming saying, okay, we're going to do a driveway inspection, and you get a little further creep, the county says, building department says, hey, we need you to do structural type fire prevention activities and everything. That's outside of the scope of our contract. So that's why I'm saying is,
Do you have a recommendation?
we need, if we're going to do those activities, it needs to be inclusive in the contract.
We,
Some verbiage in the contract that.
That's why I'm saying we
About
should,
ingress, egress.
Other fire related activities.
Right.
Or some such.
right, it's the legal umbrella is.
so our attorney is comfortable with the contract we have. The only thing we do with the driveway is we don't want a contract on a house that we cannot access. So we just look at the driveway and make sure that we can access it. But as far as other fire prevention stuff, it's just a fire suppression contract.
But when we're doing that driveway inspection, we are signing off to the county telling that they meet the standards, correct?
No, we're just saying that we'll give you a contract because we know that we can, get to your house. It's not a contract with the county, it's a contract with.
I understand it's not a contract with the county, but when you go and do it, somebody's building their house, okay? And one of the requirements is that the fire district or the fire entity signs that individual off on the property that they have sufficient egress, egress for fire apparatus, correct?
If we sign off the driveway,
Yes.
we're not signing it up.
Because I know I know that we've been doing that, okay,
Yes, for the county,
for the county.
for the part of the permit process.
And that's what I'm saying, is if that needs to be incorporated into these contracts, if we're gonna be doing that.
Okay, I'll look at the contract.
Historically, it hasn't, come up, but maybe look at it, or, yeah. Okay. Anything else on that update or on the fire protection contracts?
One other question. Are all these properties within 7 miles of the station?
These are, there's one that I have to check. But that applies to annex, not contract.
Right, but it's a lot easier to annex if they are within the 7 miles. And it's cheaper for them to do it.
Where does that 7 mile come from, Jim? Is that state?
State, yeah.
Okay, curious.
They're within 7 miles, they have the opportunity to annex without county fees and stuff at this point. And that'll go away soon. So,
Now, Mike,
Okay.
have you been approving these contracts right now as they stand? Or,
As they stand.
yeah, because you have contracts that you've been signing, correct? So, have these contracts that we're signing, they're basically under just fire suppression.
Okay, anything else to discuss there? You need action, chief, on
No.
that at this time?
No.
Okay. All right, let's move along and talk about our fuel usage, understanding. Again, chief, I guess that's coming back to you to describe for us.
So this will be page 28 of your board packet. This is an MOU between myself and the city of Rogue River on fuel usage during extended emergencies. And we agreed that we will limit fuel usage to emergency vehicles and equipment and other priorities that the city administrator and I deem necessary.
Leaving that up to your discretion or the chief's discretion?
Yeah.
Okay. We need action on that? You know,
I do
approve
not.
that? No?
No.
Okay, just an understanding, thank you. And then again, back to you, chief, strategic plan, we're looking at scheduling the meetings, pre-meeting.
So, the board and I would like to start the process of developing a strategic plan. And previously I tried to land on a date and time, and that was not successful. So I thought I would move forward with that when we're all in the same room and maybe could talk about a date.
A date, yeah. Okay. But do we have? We have to stay and on it?
We do not.
Okay.
Go ahead, Craig. Well, I thought
Any
you
any evening is fine for me.
Okay. Evening, say 5:30,
Yeah, or even earlier.
5 o'clock?
Yes.
Five's good for me. School's done.
I am open. Evenings are pretty easy.
Jim, you good for an evening meeting?
Yeah, I think, I'm gonna be gone tomorrow through Sunday, and then I think I'm good until July. I don't know if it's the 10 or 17th, I'll be leaving.
Say that again, Jim, you're leaving tomorrow and then you'll.
I'll be back Sunday,
Okay,
so anytime in the next, 2 weeks is fine with me. And then I will be gone again July, I think it's 10 to 17, something
how about the week of the 23rd?
of June.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm committed that week.
okay, how about the week of the 30th?
So that puts you right into the 4th of July weekend. That week.
What if we do the beginning of the week, say the 1st of July? Or the 2nd of July? Or I could go the following week,
How about the week of the 7th?
okay? Um,
We have our board meeting on the 9th. What if we do it that evening?
Fine with me.
Greg, are you okay for the evening of the 9th?
Yes. Thank you.
Wednesday.
Okay, 5 o'clock, is that okay?
Okay.
Or you want to go earlier?
5 o'clock is fine. Thank you.
And then will you send out a reminder card? That was the 9th.
The evening of the 9th.
5 p.m. Okay. Okay, let's move along then. We got that pinned down, new business. Chief, we got a resolution to look at and approve.
This is a resolution to receive $35,000 into the general fund. This is a grant from Oregon State Fire Marshal for funding seasonal firefighters. We are going to hire, I did hire 3 seasonal firefighters that are going to start on June 15th. 3 really good guys. One of them is in backgrounds for Fire District 5 and Grants Pass, so I don't suspect we're going to keep him for very long, but this will definitely improve our staffing. So the resolution is to bring it into the budget.
Okay, we'll look for a motion to approve that resolution. Anybody?
I'll
Anybody?
make the motion.
Thank you.
Second.
Motion is second to approve resolution R24-25-08. Okay. That's good. And let's roll call that. Jenna, please.
Yes.
Jim Stern.
Yes.
Randy. John
Yes.
and Craig Berry.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Question real quick.
Yes.
You mentioned background for who?
Fire District 5 and Grants Pass Fire.
Fire District 5 in where?
Grants Pass Fire.
Where's that?
City or something new?
Grants Pass Fire and Rescue.
Fire District 5?
Grants Pass, no, Fire District 5 is Talent Phoenix.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Grants Pass Fire.
Oh, in background, 2 different places.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were saying for District 5 and Grants Pass. I'm like, who's that?
I thought maybe that's their new district. They
Yeah, me
named it.
too.
Okay, good.
All right.
Okay, we're good. Other new business, Chief, again, back to you, our non-bargaining unit salaries and benefits discussion.
This is on page 30 in your board packet. So this is a request to the board to give Jenna and Jenny a pay raise that is equal to the same pay raise that the union gets, which is 2.1%. That equals CPI W. The purpose of this is because they are not represented otherwise for a pay raise. So,
Mike, do you have the actual numbers of what the budget increase will be?
it is been budgeted in there. I do, I don't have it.
Do you know how much it is?
No, I can find out for you in about 30 seconds.
Historically, what we've always done.
It's,
Chief,
has already been inserted into the next year.
I think the answer is yes, but I want to make sure, do they get the same length of service, step increases and stuff as the represented employees?
No,
Is there any schedule that they operate on as far as length of service or length of time?
Oh, our steps?
yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a separate one that's separate
Yeah,
from
a
the
little
bargain.
different than,
Is it like 5 years, 10 years, that type of a?
I think it starts at half a year, 2 year, 4 year, then 7 and then 10, I believe.
I would be interested in that.
So we agreed previously to keep them basically pegged to what the firefighters and paramedics are getting. That was the last time. Looking at CPIW, what is our term there? Is it January through January? Or is it
January through January.
January through January?
Yeah.
Are you sure that's CPIW and not CPIW parentheses BC?
That's correct. It is BC.
I think we should probably correct that because I believe the two values are different.
Well, I took the language out of the union contract and used the same number that the board gave to the union.
I believe the language in the union contract is BC.
Okay.
You may want to update that. I believe there's a discrepancy.
The important number, okay, I can change that if you like. The
Yeah.
important number is the 2.1%. And we
It
need
is.
that for before July 1st.
Yeah, it is 2.1, correct.
Okay.
I make a motion that we approve it.
Okay,
I'll second.
in a second. Monetary, should we roll call?
All right, Don Foster,
Yes.
Jim Stearns.
Yes.
Randy Court.
Yes.
John Ellis.
Yes.
And Craig Berry.
Yes.
Pretty good.
Could you sign my one in the board paper?
And now, last item in new business is Mr. Brewster's engagement letter. Should we discuss that?
This is a contract proposal from Rick Brewster. We do this every year. The cost of it is $18,000. We budgeted 16,500, so we undershot this one a little bit. But it's my request that we contract with them for an additional year. I don't think there's a lot of alternatives out there.
No, I think that's
Cost of doing business.
Yeah. Did he go up from last,
We have
Couple thousand.
$1,500.
1,500? Yeah. Gonna do.
Make a motion. Do it.
Yeah, John motion to approve Rick's engagement letter
Second.
and Jim second. Thank you. All in favor?
The roll
Aye.
call isn't it because it's financial?
You want to roll call
Yeah,
that?
it is an 18,000.
Okay.
John Foster,
Yes.
Jim Stearns.
Yes.
Randy Court.
Yes.
John Ellis.
Yes.
And Craig Berry.
Did you hear Craig's response? Great.
Yes.
Thanks,
Thank
Craig.
you.
And this one is signed by myself and the president of the board. Randy, if I could get your signature. There. And then there will be one more.
Okay, let's review our chief's chief, you want to give us update on your comments here, if you would. I didn't hear in the packet what page are we? 36, 37, 36. Oh, there we go.
So OSHA update. They are coming back August 27th, I think is what Cameron told us yesterday, and that will be to look at documents and paperwork type stuff. They already did the walk around part. So I'll keep you up to date on how that goes. There's also a third part called ergonomics where they come in and look at, desks and stuff like that. And we suspect that's gonna happen at a different time. So I'll keep you up to date.
And we'll probably have to get better chairs for the board to sit in.
We have
I
ones in the
would
other
love
room.
to do that for you. Fire season started June 1st, and just 1 week later, they went from low to moderate. And it has been very active for us already. And even around the valley, we've been on 8 or 10 grass fires in the last month. Most of those were in May before fire season, and most of those were controlled burns that were escaped. So, here we go in fire season.
But then you had a significant little fire in the middle of the freeway,
The Fort Grant Valley.
but only, but it, only in that one area. Generally, when you get those, it's a dragging something and sparks off numerous fires.
Yeah, right. And we'll put that, our brush truck that we got from Oregon State Fire Marshal has nozzles in the front, which we have never had and never used, and they used those nozzles to put that fire out.
Nice.
It's a pretty limited situation where you can actually use those, but that was perfect.
Yeah.
We have a YouTube account now. It costs us, I think, $8 a month. The YouTube account is to take the board videos off of the website, running into board problems on the website. We will take those videos and put them on YouTube or our YouTube account, and then the website will have a link that will take you to YouTube. So that will enable us to have these longer videos.
I saw a $30 a month expenditure. Was that for setup as well?
Yeah, it was.
So will this account also act as a archive for past meetings?
I don't know how much we can store on it. It's probably not unlimited. I think we're gonna get to a point where we're gonna have to remove old videos to add new videos.
So if we are going to be doing that, we should probably have a policy, just like our records retention policy for videos and everything, being that we are a public entity.
Oh, I have them stored.
Right. So we're gonna have a redundancy then. We're gonna be recording them like we do now, and then we'll have a YouTube also.
We just upload this video to.
Okay. So, but we were having a problem with our existing system for the length of the meetings. We're still gonna have that problem then, wouldn't we?
Because we uploaded the meeting to Wix, which was our website company, and there's not enough storage on.
So is our website company the problem? It wasn't, oh, okay. All right. Thank you. Yeah.
And that's all I have.
Grants are all pending as shown there, so.
Yeah, on the bottom there, NFPA physicals, we think that's going to get funded. I'm basing that on the fact that they request an additional information.
Okay.
That's a regional grant, and that's why I don't know the amount, because I don't actually have the whole grant in front of me. And then we applied for Aspire grant, which is through the State Office of Emergency Management for extrication equipment. I feel pretty good about that grant also.
What's that for?
Extrication equipment.
Good.
And, I don't have the dollar amount because with this grant, you don't request it by dollar amount, you just request the equipment. They give you a very specific list of equipment that you can request and you just select what you want.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Mike, have you submitted for a fire safe grant?
Fire safe grant.
FEMA has opened the window for the fire safe grants, safer grants. And they opened the end of May and it closes June 3rd.
No.
Are we going to apply?
It's not my plan unless you force me to. That's for personnel.
That's the person.
So for personnel, it's basically exactly the same as the capacity grant that we're currently under, except that it's federal money instead of state.
The capacity grant that's expiring.
Yes, next year. It'll expire next year. So it would require us to bring on 2 additional people, which I don't think the district can support. And with a decreasing match every year, and then with the expectation that we keep those people on at the termination of the grant.
So the safer grant on the federal, you saying it's the same as the Oregon State Fire Marshal's grant where there's match requirements?
I haven't read the grant,
So, okay.
but normally, yeah, it's the match requirement.
We have a long history of applying for and receiving safer grants.
You did it one time.
When we
And
applied for them.
say that again.
When we applied for them, yes.
So we don't, the fire district does not have the financial capacity to bring on 2 additional employees over and above what we have now. And that's going to be a requirement of the safer grant.
I understand that. And we are currently at 15 now. Are we currently at 15?
14.
14 firefighters plus a single role paramedic.
Okay, 15. And prior we had been at 13. And so we brought on 2 with the capacity grant. Is that correct? Or did we were we at 11 and we brought on 2?
We brought on 2.
Yeah, I thought we were at 11, we brought on 2, and now we're at 15. I don't know, the numbers don't add up. It seems like we've added an extra person or 2 that I was not aware that we were going to do that.
Maybe you're not counting our single role paramedic.
Perhaps.
So I would say that the safer grant is not for us. We do not have the financial capacity to bring on 2 additional people and support them past the term of the grant.
So without the safer grant and with the capacity grant due to expire, what's our staffing level going to be at that point on?
Assuming that we don't do a reduction in staffing, which I don't think we're going to need to do, then it'll be what it is now, which is 16.
Do you think we'll have the capacity to assume everybody that's here?
Yes.
I'd like to leave that up to the discretion of the chief to decide if he wants to apply for that grant. If it doesn't make good sense, then
This is one of those decisions that's extremely strategic and really affects our bottom line. And the board should have input into this.
Well, I think you just did, Craig, and I'm willing to listen to anything else you want to have to say. I'm just telling you that we cannot afford 2 additional people past the term of the safer grant, and therefore we should not apply for it.
I hear what you're saying. And if we were to receive the safer grant, it doesn't sound like we're going to apply for it. When would we anticipate receiving funding and therefore be required to keep to hire these firefighters? What's the term? Would it overlap with capacity or would it be after the capacity grant?
It would be after the capacity.
It'd be after the capacity, so it would be a nice backfill for the capacity grant that is expiring.
What do you mean by backfill? You're gonna bring on 2 additional people past the capacity grant people.
I guess one thing that we probably should do is we're speculating right now on what this grant is saying. Because you haven't read the grant, correct?
Well, I just know how safer grants work. But I'll look at the grant.
From historical, looking at them, you know.
The fire district cannot afford 2 additional people.
Like, I'm not disputing where you're coming from with that. You're just making quotes about a grant that you haven't read, and you
Okay.
don't know if the scope of the grants have changed or anything. That's what I'm saying right now is, the reason I brought this up is because it's not only covering for additional staffing, it also isn't covering for, volunteer programs and things of that nature. One of the things that the board has brought up in the past is we'd like to see our volunteer program boosted. So I understand that you feel it would be financial liability, but I think we need to at least see what the scope of the grant is.
I'll look at the scope of the grant.
Thank you.
What, yeah, is there any time what's the time deadline?
July 3rd is the deadline for it to be turned in.
Okay. Let's move on. Let's review our monthly reports from our captains packet. Are we still training with the ultrasound or is it in use yet, Chief?
It's not in use. We've done all the training that was required of it. Jackson County, specifically our sponsoring physician, has not issued a protocol on it. And I think that might be by design.
Captain Esther Motto, could you answer a question for me? Acronym, your JOCO MCI drill, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's the Justine County NCI.
Mass casualty incident.
Okay. Thank you. I could trip you up with some of my acronyms.
Yeah, well, there's some here that I don't get either.
You guys, you smart.
Oh, yeah.
You could help me.
Fire service.
We're just here to help.
Yeah, I do appreciate it, don't think.
Looking at Captain Gavlik's, I see a plan review, RRES fire alarm system.
Rogue River Elementary School.
Okay.
You got that one, my wife looks.
And then I see it just out of curiosity, it says testify, 431 Nugget Drive. Make a court appearance or something.
We had a structure fire there a few years back and Captain Gavlik investigated it and
Called in to testify as to determination of cause. Okay.
Okay, entertain motion to approve the reports when you gents are ready.
Make a motion.
Thank you, John, for a second. And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none. Thank you. Okay, item 14, we are now going to go into an executive session performance evaluation. And we're going in under ORS 192.660 sub 2 sub I. So, we could clear the room of folks who aren't privy to that.
How do we do this to keep Craig in the loop, but nobody else?
Good point. Stop on the
We
airways.
just can't let anybody else in the meeting. They have to request access.
Okay.
And then we're going to move, or we're gonna stop recording.
Some highly encrypted.